It was just over 5 years ago, October 2019. My old band were playing their final ever show, last show we ever played. It was in Shoreditch and there was 300 people, sold out room. And I took to the stage with my prize and joy, my Fender Telecaster thin line that I bought in New York. I bought it in New York when my old band toured America. After that gig, and for the last 5 years, my Fender Telecaster has been sitting on a guitar stand in the various places I've been living over the last 5 years. And don't get me wrong, I've played it every single day. It's my main jam guitar. But it hasn't left the house. Until today, my friends. So I've got 3 main objectives for today. 3 main objectives when it comes to today's busk, today's video. First objective, I want to find out whether busking with an electric guitar is easier than with an acoustic. Something tells me that it could be. The general playability of an electric guitar means that on a cold, crisp January day, we could find it a lot easier to play. Could be a lot easier on the fingers. I'm not sure. That's why I'd like to find out. The second objective is to give you watching at home, to give you a demonstration of what the electric guitar sounds like going through the Mackie showbox. I've had numerous people request a demonstration of electric through the Mackie, and I have done it several times when rehearsing at home, but I've never done it in a street entertainment setting, so I think that'll be good to demonstrate. The third and final objective of today is that the Wonders of Our Universe tour that I'm a part of, that I'm playing the live music in, requires me to play a couple of songs on the electric. So, after 5 long years of my guitar sitting on its perch, being used only as a jam guitar, it's time to dust the metaphorical cobwebs off and get some playing for real. So today I will be playing a couple of songs that will be featured in the show here in Worthing. Lovely. Need to get some new tour stickers that say ARP, don't I? My guitar journey started when I was 11 years old, and my first ever guitar was a Sunburst Strat copy by a brand called Westfield. And for the first maybe 4, maybe even 5 years of my whole guitar life, I didn't own an acoustic. Acoustic came later. My overall obsession with guitar started with electric guitar, and there's a bit of me that just still is there, you know. Quite quickly into learning guitar, I became obsessed with Green Day, which I kind of still am, and I was so influenced by Billy Joe's blue Stratocaster that's covered in stickers and paint and whatnot that I did the same to my first guitar. I still have it somewhere. Maybe I'll put a photo of it on the screen. In fact, it wasn't until I became ARP that the acoustic guitar became my main squeeze. And don't get me wrong, I love the acoustic, but I also love the electric. Just having this round my shoulder right now in the middle of a street feels very weird. Even my case not being my usual donations vessel. This is all part of that going out the comfort zone angle that I'm trying to take this year. I also have one more surprise for you. In the theme of guitar playing, look what I have. That, my friends, is an ARP plectrum. Shout out to Giuseppe for hooking me up with these. If I make a bunch of these, would anyone be interested in them? Some ARP merch, ARP pics with my far out dude alien friend on them. Let me know in the comments.
She said, we're gonna get out of here. Can't be dealing with this place and all these people. Lockdown gonna get me down. A salty breeze sets me free. It's all I really need, yeah. We're gonna get out of here.
So the first step, anytime I'm experimenting with something new, is to troubleshoot everything and iron out all the creases, and that at the moment happens to be the sound. I've actually put the acoustic guitar simulator effect, which is ironic because, you know, the whole thing is about playing with an electric instead of an acoustic, and then I'm simulating an acoustic. But it's because an electric guitar doesn't have the resonance and the depth that an acoustic guitar does, because it hasn't got that big hollow body that the sound's reverberating around. So an electric guitar can sound quite trebly, even if you stick quite a lot of low end on the bass of the EQ, whereas the acoustic guitar simulator just boosts that low end. So I think that works well. And to be honest, my experiment's more about the playability of the electric guitar and how that fares for busking, rather than the sound.
Get out of here. Gonna see that she agrees, yeah. She can see exactly what I mean, she said.
But I think I'm quite liking the sound. I might change it up in a bit. It does have like a little bit of a bite to it, which is nice. You don't get that on an acoustic guitar, of course. So that's cool. The strings are a little bit jangly, but I'm sure they'll warm up with the sun. The temperature's probably messing it around a little bit because this guitar's been an indoor guitar for the last 5 years.
But now there's nowhere else to go. They went and closed all the country's borders. Lockdown gonna get us down. Then she turned to me like, seriously, man, I need to get away. Oh, she said, oh, tell me which right to the beach, yeah.
So what makes an acoustic guitar and an electric guitar so different, except for the obvious when it comes to busking? First things first, in theory it's easier to play, and I actually think my experiment right now is proving that true. There's a couple of reasons why the electric guitar is easier to play than the acoustic. First things first is it's generally a bit smaller. The fretboard tends to be smaller, the body is smaller, thank you so much. Just the overall size of the neck going down here tends to be a little bit shorter, a little bit closer to you, let's say. And therefore, you don't have to reach as far, your hand doesn't have to reach round as much, and your strumming hand isn't over some big sort of piece of wood. It's just this tiny little bit, easy to strum, easy to pick, and easy to, you know, press to the fretboard. The second thing is what you call the action. The action is the distance between the fretboard and the string. So that distance there. The lower the action, in theory, the easier it is to play, because the less you have to press on the fret. Electric guitars tend to be set up with a lower action because they can get away with a lower action, because there's nothing going on over here that needs the strings to be of a certain distance between the body and the guitar.
Now be your hand, far away from where you can reach. Nobody else near. I don't wanna be part of your city. Keep rocking like a dog, 'cause I refuse to be a sheep. Yeah, I'm rocking like a dog, 'cause I refuse to be a sheep.
You can set an acoustic up with slightly lower action, obviously, but electric guitars are much more favourable to it. Also, on an electric guitar, you don't need the strings to have so much torque, so much tension. They can be quite loose on an electric. So the overall pressing down of the strings is way easier, which is why you can do a lot more fiddly stuff on an electric. You can bend the strings, you can hammer on, pull off a lot easier.
Now there's all these excuses for why I won't succeed, and everyone is thrown out here of it as I need.
The third thing that makes it way easier to play is the fact that you've got electromagnetic pickups as opposed to a sound. The pickups tend to pick up sound a lot easier, so in terms of your strumming and picking or finger on the strings, you don't have to do that much for a sound to ring out. In fact, you don't have to do anything at all if you don't want to. On an electric, you can kind of press strings down and hammer on hard enough and you'll get a sound out of them, which is why things like tapping and hammer-ons and pull-offs again are super possible. Again, they are possible on an acoustic, but less so. It's much harder to do, and you might not use a hammer-on and pull-off style motif on an acoustic the same way you would on an electric.
The difference between you and me is you gave up, but I won't know.
So in a busking scenario, you're playing for a long, extended period of time. So in theory, all these assets that the electric guitar has makes it easier to play because it's less effort, less energy required, which is awesome. And I'm definitely finding that today.
Yes, I believe it.
A backing track, but there's a bass going on there, isn't there?
It's just the resonance of the guitar.
Right.
That's what it is, yeah. The amp and the combination of the electric, I think it's like giving it loads of low end, do you know what I mean? Like the frequency.
Yes, it is, because it sounds like there's a...
That's kind of cool, I suppose.
I've seen you on YouTube, actually.
Have you?
Yeah. Same guy, you normally play an acoustic, right?
Yes, I'm just trialing an electric today,
Yeah,
just for today.
Telecaster, yeah. Okay, so no backing tracks or anything?
No backing tracks, just straight through the amp.
Flirting with the idea of busking.
Oh, you should. You absolutely should.
Are you staying awake for the liftoff tonight? You'll never believe the sights tonight, the sights, the night, the sights. Are you staying awake for the liftoff tonight? You'll never believe the sights tonight, the sights. Oh, Mr. Magpie, you got distracted by the gleam of the diamonds as you flew by. Their dog glimpsed is not impressed when there's a billion stars in the sky.
Of course, the electric also comes with all the customization. You can put various effects on an acoustic, don't get me wrong, but the nature of the fact that it has a sound hole means lots of reverb, which means you usually cause lots of feedback. If you've ever tried to put distortion or overdrive on an acoustic guitar, you'll know what I'm talking about. Whereas for an electric, you can, to your heart's content, put on loads of effects, loads of different things, and it will generally sound quite good. You have a lot more control over the sound.
There's life, there's hope. I'm searching far and wide to find a planet to orbit. Far and wide, I wanna scan and explore it. Far and wide, you're my new planet to orbit. So far up the rockets.
Also, the playability of the electric allows you to do lots more lead solos. The upper fretboard is way easier to play. Again, in my scenario, when you're sticking the capo up high, it can mean the strings go out of tune easier if you accidentally bend them slightly. Again, because the strings are looser, they haven't got as much torque on them. That's why there's a jangliness to it. I mean, this can be rectified with changing string gauges and stuff, but I want this guitar to be kept set up for like a non-busk scenario, because I'm predominantly going to be using it on the stage this year.
Georgia Rossero, but there's life, there's hope, no worries. Marching far and wide to find a planet to orbit. Far and wide, you're my new planet to orbit. Far and wide, you're my new planet to orbit. So far up the rockets. It's over now, and I'm a little unqualified for what's to come. My head's a bit stir-fried. It's over now, and I'm a little unqualified, but far up the rockets.
In theory, also, the electric guitar shouldn't go out of tune so much because of the weather, because it's a solid piece of wood, although mine is slightly hollow. I've always preferred the semi-acoustic look with the sound hole, but this guitar's a bit of a faux pas because it's not actually hollow all the way through, it's only this top bit. So it isn't really a semi-acoustic, it's just got a little bit of acousticness to it. There's absolutely no resonance when you play it not plugged in. But yeah, because it's solid, in theory it shouldn't go out of tune. So that's another perk to playing an electric when you're busking out in the street.
When I was born by the river.
Out on a cold January day.
Hey mom, there's something in the back room. Hope it's not a creature from above. You used to tell me stories as if my dreams were boring. We all know conspiracies are dumb. What if people knew that they were real?
One other thing I am noticing in the 2.5 hours I've been here now is that I'm having a lot of conversations about the guitar. This guitar is turning a lot more heads. A lot more people, I think, know what Fender is. So they look at the headstock, they see Fender and they're interested, so they ask me about it. So I'm getting a lot more conversation, guitar-led conversation with the electric on and my acoustic, which is cool.
Must be late. Been gone since yesterday. No, I'm not like you guys. No, I'm not like you.
Alright, let's talk about how the Mackie's faring with the electric plugged in. I think it sounds great, honestly. I did have to turn down the compression. I noticed the compression was like, it was killing the sound. So it was like all vocal and no guitar. And as I said earlier, because the acoustic has this natural volume, so you can hear, my Michael Kelly has a sound hole at the top, so it almost acts as like a natural monitor. Whereas this electric is just all coming out the speaker. And I noticed with the compressor on, it was like too much. It was just killing all the frequency, whereas taking the compressor off has definitely worked. I put the acoustic guitar simulator on, as I said. I put a bit of reverb on. I've got the EQ sort of mid-high, treble, medium-high, and then low just on the center. So it sounds pretty good. It's no valve amp, don't get me wrong. It's not like we're running a Fender Twin reverb or whatever they're called, but it's doing the job.
Dark and scary, ordinary explanation, information. Nice to know you, paranoia. Where's my mother? Bio father, up all night long.
And we do have some effects we can play with. We've got all the choruses, we've got the delays, we've got the overdrive, we've got the fuzz, we've got flanger, we've got a tremolo, we've got the tube mode. I'm not sure what tube mode is. So there's plenty going on that we can mess around with. So I'll demonstrate them in a minute.
12 majestic lights.
Alright, let me demonstrate these effects then. So you get a rough idea of what the Mackie Showbox can do for you if you're putting an electric guitar through it. At the moment, this is the stand I've got it set up on. So that's it, with an acoustic simulator on and some large room reverb. So we can obviously put a bit of crunch on it. Pretty cool. We also have some fuzz. Sounds pretty gnarly. And then an overdrive. So that kind of gives you an idea of like if you want to distort it around. And then there's loads of different effects here on the Mackie. This is what tube mode is. Oh, that sounds pretty nice. I like the sound of tube mode. Just a chorus of seagulls to come and inspect what I'm doing here. Maybe I've been going wrong. Maybe I should have had it on tube mode the whole time. All in all, I think that the Mackie Showbox is just the ultimate amp, man. Oh man, my feet are freezing cold, as per usual. I said earlier that one of the reasons I've brought the electric out today is because in the show that I'm in this year, the one that's touring the UK, across 2025, Wonders of Our Universe, I play the electric guitar in it. In classic ARP style, the songs I actually play on the electric guitar, I'm not playing today in the busking set because they require me to play to a backing track, and they're distorted, overdriven rock and roll songs where I'm playing lots of lead and solos. Maybe another video I'll indulge you in some of the backing track rock and roll solos that I get to play. But the main reason I took the electric out is because I just want to get some playing in it. You know, I just recently restrung it, and I just want to get, you know, used to it being in my hands again, seeing as I've got to play it a lot more this year, which I'm really excited to do because I freaking love the electric guitar. Read love, your bitches wanna shake your lovey die, you're the time. Now I'll show you your time. I love guitars in general. Guitar is my favorite thing to do in the world, play guitar. It's the only time I ever feel completely at ease is when I've got a guitar in my hand. Those 6 strings make me feel indestructible. Anything could be happening. We could be going through the apocalypse. There could be zombies running around me and I would be in complete calm because I've got a guitar in my hand. It's like a superpower. You put it in my hand, I can do anything. My mind just goes completely calm. It's just this pure meditative state. I love it so much, and that's part of the reason why I knew I had to make a living doing it. By the end of my life, I have to have spent more time playing guitar than any other activity, except for maybe sleeping. Even sleeping. Can I beat sleeping? Number of hours accumulated. Because it's where I'm at home. It's where my soul's at home. I'm a critter, I'm a lover, I'm a sinner. I play my music in the sunlight. I'm a joker when I'm a smoker. I'm a midnight dog. Should I want to know? I can't believe it's taken me this long to take the electric guitar out busking. I feel kind of silly. I've had that electric guitar sitting there that whole time, and like I said, I jam with it every day, but I've never taken it busking. I'm not even sure why. When I think about it, I have no idea. Why haven't I taken it busking before? I think that the acoustic guitar is just so obvious for a singer-songwriter kind of repertoire that I'm playing. I just never thought about it, but I mean, it worked, right? It worked just fine. Oh man, let's get back to the car park, and I'll conclude this video properly because I've got some words to say, man. I'm having all sorts of epiphanies today. Well, we said 3 main objectives for this video, and I've drawn some conclusions. Number 1 objective was to experiment on whether electric guitar was any better for busking than maybe an acoustic, which is what I've been doing for the last, 3.5, 4 years. Today was my first ever electric guitar set. Was it easier than playing an acoustic? Yes, it was. The playability of an electric guitar just means it is a lot easier on the hands, a lot easier on the fingers. Sound-wise, it isn't necessarily what I was used to, but I don't think it sounded bad. I think it sounded pretty good. The electric guitar, I think, at least 50% of the time from now on, I think I might use an electric. What do you think? Because honestly, I'm just so stoked with how it went today. It was just a bit easier. My feet are still terribly cold, but it was just a bit easier. So how did the Showbox fare? I think the Showbox sounds epic, man. Even those built-in effects, you know, people and ah about built-in effects on things, you know. Purists will say that pedals, like singular pedals, like the Boss pedals are the way to go. And obviously you can't beat, you know, whacking it in a proper valve amp that has like crisp, you know, pure sound. I mean, rocking out on a valve amp, turned right up. It's amazing. But the Mackie, for a portable, you know, an all-in-one, so rad, so good. There is only one thing left to do for this electric guitar. It's time to update the electric guitar and give it the seal of approval, because it's going to be coming with me. I'm bringing this as well as my acoustic on the tour, so we may as well use it for busking too. Welcome to the family, my trusty telly. Over to future me to round off the video. Another week, another video, and this time a profound realization. I hope you liked this video. If you did, maybe hit like down below. Consider subscribing if you're new. We've just hit 5,000, which is so rad, so cool. 5,000 in 2025. Madness. If you're based in the UK and you're interested in coming to see this tour that I'm a part of in 2025, then here is the link to the tickets and the tour dates. I am also trying to book my own headline shows around these tour dates. There is a tour poster here for the ones that are coming up. If you can help me book some shows, then hit me up on this email. I have an album called Keep Showing Up. You can only get it from me. It's not out on streaming services. It's not on streaming platforms. It's only available from me on my shop. There is a CD you can purchase or the digital download. And if you purchase a CD, you get the digital download too. If you'd like to leave me an online donation, I recommend the super thanks button down there. And if you have a little bit more laying around and you want to support me on an ongoing basis, I do have a Patreon page that you can sign up to for a monthly fee, and in return I do some exclusive content. Thank you for spending the past 25 or so minutes with me, and I hope you do the same next week. I am Orchestrated Project. I make videos every single Monday. Until next week, peace, love and happiness.